What's up, LEGO builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another episode of building Cato Neimoidia in LEGO. This promises to be an excellent week. I have lots of parts in, I have lots of free time, I have a very big deadline coming up of finishing the city by the end of the year, so hopefully I should be able to make some good things happen. I think this week my areas of focus are going to be on the ends of the city where the cables that hold up the city are going to actually connect to it. I need to build some kind of large box or housing area to connect those into the city, as well as figuring out what's going to go around that area because it's kind of angled and kind of small, so I can't put any large skyscrapers, buildings, or storage silos right there. So it's going to have to be some kind of common area, maybe with like some park benches or some trees. All in all, it should be a good week. If you're excited to see what goes down, don't forget to execute Order 66 on that like button, and let's get on with the build. I decided to start out this week by focusing on the ends of Cato Neimoidia. I haven't done anything for these sections, mostly because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and that's going to be the section that connects the city to the cables. So, there's going to be probably some intense stuff going on there, and I wasn't really looking forward to trying to figure it out. So I started with the easier stuff in the city, and I've kind of worked my way out. But this being nearly the end of the year, and me wanting to try to get to as close as that goal of finishing the city by the end of the year as possible, I decided to just sit down and put something down on the end. If I didn't like it, I could always change it or adjust it, but it would be a lot easier to adjust something that's already there than to build the perfect area from scratch. So I knew as long as I started, eventually I would get there. I'm going to be starting with a large kind of dark bluish gray rectangle looking thing. This is where the cables are going to connect to the actual city. And then around that, I'm just going to lay down a layer of plate and tile. And then from that, I can continue to put other fancier stuff on that afterwards. I will also have some kind of like fence around this outside area. Look at what I've gotten done so far. So I finished up this housing area for the cables. It was a little bit more difficult than I originally thought it was going to be, and that's mostly just because of the placement of these ball sockets right here. I needed to make sure that I had some space in between the cables like that. You can see I've got a little bit of space there, and I needed that because these aren't going to be sticking straight out. They're actually going to be angled like this, and if these were touching like this, I was afraid that if they moved up like this bottom one would push on this one because they were so tight together and pop it off right here, and that would obviously cause a lot of problems. So I'm hoping that's enough space to allow them to still be close and look like they're all connected, but not do any kind of damage to the structure here. The interior of this thing is pretty solid, as you guys saw. It's just solid brick. I'm hoping it'll be enough to keep these in place. I'll be doing more testing once I get that other side done and more of these cables finished. I might hook it up to the mountain just to see, how strong it is and if the rock work can hold what I have built so far. As far as the design for this housing area goes, I didn't really have much to work on. So the actual city, what I think is they go underneath the city, and then the city's built on top of like one solid long cable. But obviously I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to run these Lego cable pieces all the way under the city. So mine just run to here and then basically end. So this is much bigger and blockier than what you would see on the actual city, which is kind of annoying. I was kind of envisioning something a little bit longer. I just feel like this height ratio to length ratio is kind of off. But obviously I couldn't go any further back without running into the road right here. I did try to put as many angles on it as I could. You can see I've got a combination of 1x3 and 1x2s on top here. These aren't permanent. I actually just ran out of the dark bluish gray 1x3s, so I stuck these light bluish gray ones in as placeholders. And then I've got this little angled piece on the side here with the wedge plates on the side of that. Basically just trying to make some kind of staggered angled look going in this direction, just so that I don't have this big flat block right here. And then on top here, I'm actually thinking about putting down some tiles to make a second layer. I'll play around with some things. Don't forget to let me know what you think about this design down below in the comments. If there's anything you think I could do to adjust it. I did put some different angled bricks in the middle here just to break up this slope so it wasn't all the exact same, and I feel like that helps with the look a little bit. All in all, I'd say I'm about 80% satisfied with this, so this design is subject to change. Outside of this cable housing area, I did get a lot of this end built, so I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do here, just because this is all where the city is going to be. And so I haven't put much thought into what it's going to be at the end. And I can't fit any big buildings, obviously. So I was looking at some reference material for Cato Neimoidia. And honestly, it looks like they don't really have anything over here by the cable area. It's just kind of empty. So I think that's what I'm going to do as well, is just create like a little mini open space. I've got some gold fences right here just to keep, people and things from falling off the edge. And I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with how this looks. I'll probably populate it a little bit more. Maybe I'll put like a little square of dirt right here with a little tree, maybe a bench next to it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think would be cool right here. Just kind of like, a little public area. I do need to finish off this other side over here. And then I also got to figure out what I'm going to put right there. All in all, pretty satisfied with how this end looks. This definitely matches the rest of the vibe and aesthetic of the other parts of the city. All that being said, I'm going to get back to work and I'll check back in when I have more to update you with. Okay, I've got this other side finished, basically mirrored the first side. And over here, you can see we've got some new additions. So I've got this little park bench. It's not really a park bench, I guess, because it's not in a park, but a public bench where people can, just sit and relax. I've got this minifigure I got from Will Harper in a trade. You can see they fit on there pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with the bench design. It's nothing fancy, you can see what it's pretty self-explanatory. And then next to that, we've got this little garden. We've got this little tree with a little stone frame around it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I feel like it helps fill up this space a little bit better. It just, makes it look more realistic. I don't want to create like this Matrix-like city that's just like devoid of all things life. Also, I would like to know, do you think I should duplicate this over here on this side, or just put this on, or just keep it to one side, maybe do something else here, or leave it blank? I'd love to know you guys' feedback on that. I also created this little section right here. I put more of these pillars in. I really like the look of these just because it gives the vibe of like, kind of like skyscrapers, even though they're not actually buildings. They're just energy coils, storage silos, whatever you want to call them. I honestly don't really know. This design is slightly different than my other one. This is what the original design looks like, but I ran out of these drill pieces. This is the last one I have, and so I decided to supplement some of these other Pearl Gold parts I had laying around, and I feel like it turned out pretty nicely. So it's nice to have this side of the city pretty much done. What I need to do now is jump all the way down over there and work on those buildings and get that section finished and get that end section finished and the cable housing area all done. I'm very interested to see what this all looks like when it's finished. I do also need to figure out where I'm going to be putting the Lego statues. Okay, here's one last update for the Golden City this week. I was able to get this side mostly finished as well. I just finished up a very fun live stream. I got this housing section in. It's all ready to go to connect to those cables. I've got most of this fencing in. Then I've got the walls built over here. I'm actually out of these fencing pieces, so I'm going to need to buy more of those. I'll probably fence off this area and then be done with those. I did have some more over here and over here in these little, hangout sections, but I stole them so that I could put them on the ends, and I decided to put these bars in place, and I actually feel like they look a little bit better. So happy with that because I was able to use up some more of the just random gold pieces that were sitting in my Pearl Gold bin. A random thing I wanted to show you guys is I don't know why on earth I bought this many gold flags because obviously I'm not going to put a bunch of flags around Cato Neimoidia, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all of these. I might stick them underneath, just kind of like splay them out along the bottom of the city, although I don't know why I do that. So if anybody has any good suggestions for what to do with those, let me know in the comments. So I did have a goal to have this city done by the end of the year. Unfortunately, I was not able to accomplish that, but I'm really glad with where I'm at currently. I feel like that goal really helped me just kickstart working on the city and just putting down bricks because I think, I was kind of overanalyzing and just wanting to plan out the perfect city before I started, but that helped me to just start, and I think I definitely wouldn't have been this far along if I hadn't done that. Really all that's left is building this section, finishing this apartment, and then like adding in the little smaller bits and pieces like the plants here and stuff. So hopefully I should be able to finish that up within a couple of weeks. All that being said, that wraps up this update. Time to go hit the outro. This was the final week of the year 2021. This was the final week of the year 2021 for having the city completely finished. And while it's not completely finished, I'm definitely at a good place where most of the planning for it has been figured out. A lot of the buildings and stuff are in. Mainly what I have to do now is finish up those larger sections that have been left blank and then start the destruction process. That may sound a little weird, but there is going to be a battle taking place on this city. So once I have everything finished, I'm going to start taking apart certain sections and areas to try and make it look a little bit more dilapidated, like there's a battle going on in the city. All that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about all of this down below in the comments, and I will catch you guys next time. But until then, happy building.